What if I told you that India is sitting on a mountain of treasure? No, I'm not talking about some ancient king's hidden gold. I'm talking about a fortune so massive, so spread out, that nobody has ever been able to count it all. It's a secret stash of wealth that belongs to all of us, but it remains one of the biggest mysteries of our time. Imagine we are all detectives on a grand adventure, a nationwide treasure hunt. The mission? To find and piece together the puzzle of India's true wealth. This isn't just about the money flowing in and out of the country. It's about everything we own, collectively, as a nation. It's a number so big it's almost mythical. This national treasure hunt is way more complex than you might imagine. It's not just about counting the cash in banks or the gold in our lockers. It's about adding up the value of every single thing in the country. Think about the roads we drive on, the massive factories churning out goods, the towering skyscrapers in our cities, and even the beautiful forests and rivers that grace our land. We, as the detectives in this story, have to look beyond the obvious. The real challenge is that many of these treasures are hidden in plain sight, but putting a price tag on them is where the mystery truly begins. So, what exactly is this national wealth? Let's call it the ultimate balance sheet of our country. It's the grand total of everything we own, minus everything we owe to the rest of the world. It's our national savings account, built up over generations. This includes your family's home, the shares you own in a company, the government's railway network, and even the intellectual property behind a successful Indian startup. This is the real measure of our nation's long-term financial health and stability. It's the foundation upon which our future prosperity is built, a legacy we are creating for the generations to come. Most of us hear about GDP on the news all the time. It's that big number that tells us if the economy is growing or slowing down. But here's a secret. GDP isn't the whole story, not even close. Think of GDP as your monthly paycheck. It's the money you earn in a specific period, a year, in the case of a country. It shows how much economic activity is happening, how much stuff we are producing and selling. A bigger paycheck is great, right? It means you're doing well right now. But your paycheck doesn't tell anyone how much you own. It doesn't account for your savings, your house, your car, your investments. That's where national wealth comes in. If GDP is your paycheck, then national wealth is your entire treasure chest. It's the total value of everything you've accumulated over your entire life. It includes your house, your investments, the gold your grandmother gave you, the money in your bank account. It's a snapshot of your total financial worth at a single point in time. A person can have a huge paycheck, but very little in their treasure chest if they spend it all. Similarly, a country can have a high GDP but low national wealth if it isn't saving and investing for the long term. This treasure chest is what provides security and a foundation for future growth. Imagine you own a fruit stand. The money you make every day from selling mangoes, selling bananas, is your GDP. It's the flow of income, but the value of the stand, the land it's on, the cash register, the savings you have, that's your wealth. This is why focusing only on GDP is like trying to understand a movie by watching just one scene. Now let's get back to our detective work. In this massive treasure hunt for India's wealth, there's one part of the map that is surprisingly clear. It's the part labeled household wealth. This is the treasure stored in the homes of hundreds of millions of Indian families, just like yours and mine. This is the easiest part of the puzzle to solve, and the data here is quite reliable. Why? Because we have excellent detectives on the case. Reserve Bank of India, National Sample Survey Office conduct massive detailed surveys, going door to door to collect clues about what people own. They are the super sleuths of our economic mystery. These surveys are incredibly thorough. They ask people about everything. How much is your house worth? Do you own a car or a scooter? How much gold and jewelry do you have? What about your savings in the bank, your fixed deposits, your mutual funds, and your stocks? They also ask about loans, like a home loan or a personal loan, to get the full picture. By gathering information from millions of households across the country, from bustling cities to remote villages, they create a very accurate map of our collective household treasure. It's like piecing together millions of tiny puzzle pieces to reveal a clear image. This part is solid because it's tangible and recorded. Physical assets like real estate and gold, financial assets like bank deposits, stocks and insurance, registered, statemented, dematted. This detailed map tells us Indian households are fantastic savers and prefer property and gold. trusted for generations. This provides a strong, stable foundation for the nation's total wealth. It's the bedrock of our economic strength. While other parts remain mysterious, the wealth held by its people is a known quantity, a bright spot on our treasure map. It's a testament to the financial prudence of the common Indian family. Only one issue though. This assumes that the respondents are familiar with and are open about their own wealth. Our investigation now takes us into the foggiest parts of the map, the corporate world and the government's domain. This is where our treasure hunt gets really tricky. Counting the wealth of India's companies is like navigating a complex maze. Publicly listed companies declare assets. We can read balance sheets for factories, machinery, cash, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. What about millions of unlisted private companies? Partnerships, small businesses. Their wealth is much harder to track. They are hidden chambers in our treasure maze. They don't publish financials. Finding the value of their land, buildings, equipment requires detective work. Data is incomplete or outdated. How do you price a company's brand value? These are intangible assets, invisible treasure. Very valuable, but hard to quantify. A big question mark on corporate wealth. Next, our magnifying glass goes to the government's vault, the biggest, most mysterious part of our national treasure. The government is the single largest asset holder. It owns vast amounts of land, thousands of public buildings, the entire railway network, national highways, ports, airports, forests and mines, major public sector undertakings. The scale is mind-boggling. Putting a current price on all of it is a Herculean task. No centralized, comprehensive inventory. It's like listing every item in an ancient palace with no floor plan. Much land lacks current market valuation. Historical costs are tiny fractions of real worth. Until land records are digitized and a full government balance sheet exists, this wealth remains a grand estimation, a shadowy figure in national accounts. So, after our grand treasure hunt, we are left with a fascinating puzzle. We have a clear picture of our household wealth, which forms a strong and stable base. Yet, huge foggy areas over corporate skylines and government buildings, where the treasure is likely far greater than any official numbers suggest. This brings us to the final thrilling clue in our mystery: uncounted corporate wealth and undervalued government properties. India's total national wealth would likely skyrocket. We might be sitting on a much larger fortune than we currently believe. Imagine if the government had an accurate valuation of all its land and buildings, manage assets more efficiently, fund better infrastructure, healthcare, education. A clearer picture of unlisted corporate wealth means better understanding of the true strength of our economy. So, what is a good starting point for guessing our national wealth? As per the most recent data, household wealth alone in nominal terms is about $19.6 trillion. In terms of PPP, it would be around 4 times the nominal value. The corporate sector collectively add another $16 trillion to the total. This figure is based on India's total corporate wealth, which, when converted from nominal market capitalization and asset values to PPP terms, is typically multiplied by the PPP factor, approximately 3 to 4 times the value in nominal terms. Also, recent data and government reports show government holdings, including land, public sector undertakings, infrastructure, and public financial assets, are valued at over 125 trillion rupees, approximately $1.5 trillion nominal. Using the same PPP adjustment factor, the value increases to $6 trillion to $7 trillion. If we add it all up, we get to a staggering figure of over 80 trillion. This isn't just an academic exercise. It's about discovering the real tools we have at our disposal. Hence, claims like India's top 9 richest people have half the nation's wealth are fundamentally misleading. Our wealth isn't just in our banks, it's in our land, our infrastructure, the ingenuity of our entrepreneurs, and the savings of our families. A story of resilience built over generations. The journey to count India's secret fortune is a journey of self-discovery. What other forms of hidden wealth do you think India possesses? And what could we achieve if we finally managed to count it all? Share your thoughts. What's India's hidden wealth worth? Comment below and subscribe for the next chapter of the treasure hunt. Goodbye.